Today in the crypto space, we see the market getting a nice bounce to the upside. Bitcoin right around that $61,700 mark, up approximately 4.5%. Ethereum right above that $3,000 level, up approximately 2.5%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, looking pretty good. We have Toncoin getting a nice move, HBAR, Doge, Dogwif Hat, Near Protocol, IMX, and many, many more. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one meme coin project. And that project is called FLOKI. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. Bitcoin getting a nice, a nice bounce, a nice bit of relief to the upside in the last little while. Today, it's up 4.2%. That's pretty good. Ethereum, lagging behind just a little bit, up approximately 2.5%. What else do we have here? BNB doing okay, another 3%. And you can see a lot of the altcoin market is doing great right now. We're seeing Toncoin run 10% to the upside. Bullish move, of course, at a $20 billion market cap. What else do you want from Toncoin? How much more X factors could we get out of Ton? In my opinion, right, guys, don't expect some major moves. It's not going to give you those life-changing gains, but definitely some good moves to the upside. Do expect that. What else do we have? Cardano, 2.5%, 2% more or less, grinding to the upside. AVAX, the same thing. We're getting a lot of good moves. Near Protocol, wow, nice move, 10.5%. We have, what else do we have? A lot of good ones, guys. We're getting a lot of good green price action. However, what I'm afraid of is the fact that Bitcoin is still not above making a higher high. It's still within a structure that suggests a continuation to the downside. Now, of course, that sounds very bearish. I'm just being prepared, guys, because you guys know that I want to be one step ahead of this market. And as long as we make a lower low and a lower high in the next little while, we are continuing the trend to the downside. Of course, the friend is always your friend until the end. And right now I'm not really seeing anything suggesting that the trend to the downside is ending. So what do we expect of this? I do expect this relief. I expect it to be a relief. I expect it to be traded on lower time frames, such as the 4-hour. I expect individuals to be protective of those gains, protect the gains, guys, because, if it does become a relief rally where it's just a bit of relief, a dead cat bounce, or whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, it's going to be short-lived. And that means that the market's going to come back down and probably hunt the basic liquidity. It's going to hunt those entries. It's going to hunt those gains and take the gains back from you. So, the best thing to do at this point is, if you're in some serious profit, is always come up with a plan to defend those gains. That's all it is. Take 10% off the top, trail up a stop loss, and, consider yourself a profitable trader, right? So, in the last little while, we've been getting into an offensive stage, right? Trying to find ways to, get aggressive in this market based on this bit of relief. Be prepared for a bit of relief. And so far, so good. But then again, we also need to be prepared that, it could be short-lived. And that's one thing that I want to talk about today. All right, guys? So we'll take a look at Bitcoin. We'll take a look at FLOKI, because I think the FLOKI setup is absolutely epic. And you'll see why in a second. Let's continue going down. IMX looking great, 5.7% to the upside. Nice run. And if we keep on going down, a lot of the altcoins didn't even move just yet. BitTensor Tau getting a nice 5% run. That's pretty good. Maker doing great. We have the graph waking up 10%. I like the graph when it moves, guys. It moves. So I kind of like to see it wake up this way. Sui, it's kind of going sideways here. It's down 2.9% while the market is moving. It might suggest that this becomes a scenario where we see Sui come down a little bit more. I wouldn't mind. If I'm going to take a bit of risk on a large cap altcoin, $2.5 billion market cap, for me, that's a very mature market cap based on, my risk tolerance. I usually like the small caps, the micro caps, all that kind of stuff. But, if I'm going to take risk on one of them, I think I need to get some exposure on Sui. So I'm looking for entries. If I do see it come down a little bit more, I might be interested, but at this current moment, I'm going to be very, very patient. Arweave is another one that I wouldn't mind doing, getting in a position, but it's up 13.5% in the last 7 days, reaching previous highs. Now, do we make a double top and start rolling over, guys? I don't want to take the chance, right? That's the thing. And to be honest, I didn't take a chance at those bottoms and buy the dip. I didn't. I want to wait for a perfect entry, and if it means that I miss out, so be it. It's okay. I'll find something else. There are a lot of projects out there that are going to give us opportunities. As long as we keep on hunting those bottom dwelling altcoins and those opportunities at great risk to reward ratios, we could definitely get in on the green. Okay, so that's one thing that we got to look for, is healthy risk to reward ratios. Celestia doing good in the last little while, but of a bit of a pullback. I like this relief that it's been getting, but kind of sideways in the short term. Thorchain waking up. I'm happy with that because I did buy the dip, and I'm happy that I scaled in a little bit more. I wanted a bit more exposure. Again, a larger altcoin, $1.7 billion market cap. It's right up there. And FLOKI's another one, 1.7 more or less billion dollar market cap. It is a meme coin. Do I even dare call it a meme coin nowadays? I don't know. It's got a game. The ecosystem is growing and so on and so forth. It's a very traditional type of meme coin that has a lot of let's say ecosystem growth, let's put it that way. So FLOKI, I'm bullish. I hold a pretty big bag of it. It's been doing great, and I want to show you what's going on those charts, because the charts don't lie. At the end of the day, I'm bullish, obviously, because I hold, and full disclosure, I am a big holder. However, the setup is the setup, and that's what's most important here, guys. I'm not trying to say that anything other than you look at the setup, make your decision, use what I'm going to be showing you as an indicator for your decision making. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, guys. So if we continue going down, you can see the rest of the market is showing a bit of relief to the upside. Even Quant is waking up a little bit, still around that $100 mark, but you can see a little bit of relief. Algorand the same, another 5% to the upside. And we have Wormhole waking up in the last little while, 22% in the last 7 days, guys. That's really good. People could be considering, the bulls could be considering this becoming a bull flag. And if it does, a bull flag could be definitely really good here, going sideways for a little bit before it continues to the upside. And then ultimately, let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. What else do we have? A nice rally up here on DYDX and many, many others. So at the end of the day, honestly, the market is looking good. I just feel like I don't trust it. And of course, it's nothing about trust. It's about the data. The data on the daily suggests that we could kind of still come down. And I'm going to make sure that I reserve a bit of capital for those opportunities. And if it doesn't happen, all good. I have enough exposure into this market, as I've been DCing in the last little while, that I should be happy with, right? So let's move on, guys. I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's begin looking at our analysis here using Bitcoin as a leading indicator. Then we'll take a look at FLOKI and see what's going on with FLOKI. Bitcoin did break down the horizontal. Very clear. Nice invalidation, basically coming down those horizontal supports. Now in the last little while, of course, Bitcoin got a bit of the relief on those tweezer bottoms that I've been talking about for the last 3 days. And then all of a sudden, here we go. We close that daily candle and we're up again with this nice daily candle. Now, it does really look good because it's above the horizontal, but you guys know that horizontals, diagonals, any trend line or anything like that, guys, you can't, nickel and dime for actual precision. You got to get into those lower time frames perhaps, or you got to have a big picture idea and kind of zoom out and understand that a general area could be resistance. And right now we are in that area. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of traders or a lot of people in crypto, they just put lines and they say, this is the level. Absolutely, this is the level down to the cent. The problem is that doesn't way it works. We can get a short squeeze and get another little pop. In the opposite direction, we can get a long squeeze and get a bit of a move, right? We can get a lot of things happening at any given time. Even sometimes, do we include wicks or exclude wicks, right? Do we look at the volume in those levels rather than just looking at the price action? Because volume is very important. And this is one thing that I really do focus on with my strategy is to understand that price action is there, no doubt, but how much volume is in that price action? Because if it's low volume, that means there's not much market participation and consensus throughout the market. And if you can see right now, although we have broken above this horizontal previous support, you can see that the majority of the supply and demand is right now. It's hitting that wall, and it already got a bit of a reaction. Not to say that I can't continue, but what I am saying is, look, if it's going to get a rejection, it's going to happen here. Look at the volume profile. Okay, let's just be clear about this. Look at the wall that it's hitting right now. Okay, this was the volume gap. This is the wall. Now, all of a sudden, we start looking at what does it take for it to actually get up? It needs a lot more volume to actually break through this. We need a lot more market participation than what we have right here. And you can see on the daily, the momentum is still quite bearish in the sense that we're downwards trending. We're downward sloping here, which is very, very unfortunate. So what we need to focus on in the next little while is what kind of confirmations we can get here on Bitcoin. What kind of confirmations can we trust here on Bitcoin? At the end of the day, guys, we're still in a lower low type of scenario and potentially another lower high around the corner. So what does that mean? The trend is very clear here, and we can't negate the fact that the trend is your friend. And look, if we stay around this level, we could definitely get rejected, come down for a lower low and hit that 52K, hit the 200 daily EMA. And I'm definitely not going to be left blindsided without having capital, dry powder ready to go to deploy at those lower levels. So this is why I'm slowly DCing around this bottom, literally at the absolute tip. I scaled into Secret. I bought a bit of FLOKI. I bought a bit of something. Sorry, not FLOKI. Thorchain. I bought a bit of few little others. Nothing major, but my secret allocation was pretty big. But nonetheless, guys, I'm going in nice and slow. No rush. I feel like ultimately what we need is some sideways price action here to give us a nice rounded bottom to build some confidence in this retracement if it's going to happen. I don't anticipate a V recovery. I don't anticipate a huge move unless we get a massive catalyst out there in the market. I don't expect major moves at this current moment. Of course, the summer's around the corner. Selling may go away. Of course, a lot of people are talking about that narrative, which could definitely play out. But you can see the momentum is still downward sloping and grinding to the downside. Am I willing to get into a momentum trade to the upside while the momentum is moving down? That doesn't make any sense. With no bullish divergence, no indication of anything. Look, the volatility's right now getting a nice pop to the upside. Look at the last time we look at the volatility trend. Let's look at the orange line. Look at the trend in the volatility coming down over time. Yeah, we could come right back up, no doubt. Yes, we could even come up and test the highs. But really, if the trend is going to be our friend, guys, we're going to get a rejection and overall come down and build some sort of structure here, some sort of pivot point to suggest that we're ready to move to the bullish side of things and get right up there again. I think it's really early to think Bitcoin is going to get a V recovery or a bounce, a heavy bounce into the tops. But again, statistically speaking, you don't know for a fact, right? I don't even know for a fact. All I know is that probability is we need a little bit more data to get more bullish sentiment back into the market, more bigger bullish positions back into the market, because the bigger positions that come in, the more volume we get in, and obviously the more we'll see this price climb right back into its previous highs. Look at the trend. The trend is still facing down. EMAs are coming down. We got the trend waves to the downside. Now it's nice and blue coming down to the bearish control zone, and this is after the bearish divergence and the confirmation with this red dot. What else do we expect here, guys? Okay, so being very patient here on Bitcoin. The relief on the 4 hour is looking really good. Look at the momentum. It's almost already oversold. Now, once we get oversold, look at the volatility. The orange line is definitely overbought. Sorry, overbought conditions, overbought in momentum, overbought in volatility. Once the momentum decides to roll over and get back to oversold conditions, we could expect the volatility to follow its lead and perhaps coming down for another dip. Then we'll go back to the daily and see what's going on in the daily. Of course, the daily getting a nice rounded bottom here would be super epic to see some green expansion phase as we have done in the past. And that way we can get back to previous highs and price discovery. But until then, I am focusing on bottom dwelling altcoins. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to give me those confirmations like we got here with these tweezer top bottom levels, and then all of a sudden get that bounce. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's take a look at FLOKI. What's going on with FLOKI? Now, I usually don't cover meme coins. To be honest, I bought into FLOKI even last bull run, and FLOKI did very well for me. Very well for me. I like FLOKI. I like this whole concept and whatever. Meme coins were coming out last bull run, and there was a couple of good ones. And of course, FLOKI interests me. Now, what I did like about FLOKI, of course, in the last little while, is the nice volatility that it got to the upside, which treated me very well because I got in very early here, so not bad. But doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are in a good level of a retracement. I like the fact that we respected this. I like the fact that we came down to this level right here. And you guys know I like my volume gaps. And you know, the volume gaps at the end of the day are very important zones. Why? Because that's where usually you have a lot of emotional individuals, because there's a lot of liquidity there. And when there's liquidity, that means that people are putting stop losses to protect themselves. People are using a lot of leverage. And again, a lot of emotions, a lot of emotional judgments, right, around that level. Now you can see that there's been a bit of a trend, right? A bit of a trend, 3 touches. Maybe you can even classify it as 4. But what I like the best about it is that we kind of bounced above it and we back test it. And it does look like we're getting a confirmation low. Now, some people may argue that this is a slanted inverse head and shoulder. Fine, that's very true. Let me show you what I mean. If we go from here to about here, you can see, and let me make this shorter because it looks deceiving. Let's do this. Let's kind of do something like that. You can see shoulder, head, shoulder slanted, and it could pop. And the next level, obviously, to watch out for are these highs, right? Really, we could get a bit of a rejection right here. And obviously, the major change of character is right into this. If we can make a higher high to this, we're getting into price discovery. And that's the truth, right? Now, do we get any bullish divergence on these lows? We got lows, lower lows, no bullish divergence on the daily, but we are getting a nice confirmation low, a higher low right here. So if we can make a higher high, after breaking above, it looks really good. And look at the horizontals. Like, really, the horizontals is what really gets me really interesting here, is because the market tried to break below the volume gap and it said, nah, U-turn, then right back up. So horizontal support, top of the volume gap. We have the 200 daily, you know, kind of creeping right through here and doing its thing. Maybe go sideways for a little bit. Maybe we even see the price action kind of do one of these. But as long as we stay above this level right here, which is this horizontal, and the price is the actual number. Let me make this a bit thicker for a second. The number is 0.001255, right around that zone. You can see that we have a lot of weakness below. There's not a lot of supply and demand. There's not a lot of price action to give it support if we were to fall through. So that means that we have to prepare for a bit of a dip psychologically. And of course, our portfolios, if we do break below, we can come down approximately 50%, which is a significant dip, guys. So whatever you get into right now, there's a couple of ways that you can play this. You can consider this a nice backtest confirmation low, ready for a bounce to the upside, which, guys, I am hoping for and I plan to expect, because we have weakness above as well, that we eventually hit this level again and try to break above, because we tried before with this high and we came down to pick up some more bullish bids, and with this confirmation, people are going to get in with bigger position size eventually and start breaking this previous high, and you know, we might get that big break to the upside eventually. Now, what about if we break below? The thing is that you have to put a stop loss. In my opinion, obviously not financial advice, but if you're going to get in with a big position size, you need somewhere to be protected. And the level is right underneath this horizontal. Why? Because your risk to reward is healthy. And at the end of the day, you're mitigating all your risk by having a tight stop loss near your entry. And your entry at this level is not the worst. It could be a little bit better, but at least you have confirmations. Now, could you put your entries right here? But a better entry obviously would be on this low. Why not? Right on this wick. That's very fine. We could come down and hunt liquidity again and get another wick to the downside. That's also possible, but the best one is down here. So you have some choices, guys, where you're going to invalidate your bullish thesis. Obviously, this bottom is not bad. This bottom is not bad either, but ultimately what we're looking for is a breakout, and you're getting the pretty much at the bottom of the right shoulder of this potential, you know, pivot point, which is an inverse head and shoulder that is slanted. Now, if we look at our positions and our setups, let's say we get in right in here, you'll see what I mean from a risk to reward ratio. If we put our stop loss right here and we take profits, let's say right on this top, just to be healthy, just to be, you know, mindful of the fact that this is a very important level that the bears are going to want to protect. The risk to reward ratio is about 2.8 to 1, which is not bad. Now, if we can come down for a little bit more, we can improve the ratio. You get what I mean? Look how quickly we improve that ratio just by coming down for a bit of a dip on lower time frames. It could come down in the 4 hour and so on, and you can get a 3.5 to 1 ratio, which is a lot healthier, of course. And then, of of course, what you can do is take a bit of profit here, trail up a stop loss, and hopefully maybe we continue. And you never know, you can take more profit up to here, but you trailed up that stop loss to secure some of your gains, maybe right around this level, and then you can take a little bit more profit off of here, 10%, and trail up the stop loss even further. And imagine this thing breaking out eventually, right? So that's the way I would play this, because ultimately, look what we're trying to do here. We're trying to round off and eventually get a bit of relief to the upside. So not bad here for FLOKI. Let's get into lower time frames real quick. You can see that we're oversold, overbought on volatility, and the momentum is trying to get overbought, right, in the same direction. This is why we're doing pretty good. Overbought for the volatility, and we're getting into overbought conditions with regards to momentum, which means the purple line is going to get above the 70% mark in this area, and we should get a continuation to the upside. Guys, this is looking really, really good. Look at that. Perfect break of trend, break of character, which is along the way. Like if we break above these highs, we're starting to break the character of the structure. And of course, I would have loved to see bullish divergence. I don't even see any here on the 4 hour, unfortunately. Nothing really happening. I would love to see bullish divergence into here. Let me go quickly back to the daily. Is there a divergence right into this level? No, lower lows and lower lows on the momentum. Now, the trend, we didn't talk about the trend. The trend looks like it's ready to roll over, guys, right? It could come down again, but with these these EMAs and all of this scenario, we're still in the bullish control zone. That's the reality. We're still in the bullish side of things. We could definitely get into the bullish control zone. These EMAs can cross right up into this level and make this thing stay purple for a good while. So right now, I'm not really even trusting the fact that the momentum waves are pushing downwards. The trend waves are pushing downwards. I would wait for these EMAs and see what happens here. We got a nice bullish divergence. We did invalidate, but sometimes it takes a couple of drives of bullish divergence for it to actually get realized. And this could be the case. So I'm about 50-50 on keeping the MACD, part of my arsenal of indicators, but the RSI and the momentum and the volatility and the expansion. Look at the expansion, guys. The expansion came down very mature, and all of a sudden we got the green maybe coming in very soon. Look at the greens, the way they really drive up the momentum. Let that green come in and drive up the momentum to overbought conditions, and we should see a nice pop on FLOKI on the daily. Remember, the 4 hour could bring us down a little bit, improve our entry, but we really do want to start building a position in this area. I like the fact that we got a bit of a wall of supply and demand right into here. As you can see, a lot of volume, and we basically are back testing it. Basically, we came down and back tested it, and we're looking for another higher high. Pretty good overall here on FLOKI. Guys, if I've offered you any value here on the channel or in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm and getting this channel going and the video out there. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.